Everybody to Dragon Punch number 10. We're doing a little bit of a pre-show here to kind of run down all the stuff that we've been doing over the past 10 weeks of us being in quarantine. God help us. Okay, so recently I went through and I decided to go and look back at all the things that have happened over the past couple weeks of us running Dragon Punch, and myself and Core Jam have compiled this bit of data that you see before you. So to kind of help me like run through this, I have Mr. Town Crier and Core Jam himself here in the chat, and we're gonna talk about some of like the key like highlights we've noticed over the course of these past 10 weeks.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so let's just get right into it. Let's go Akron.
Let's go
Overall.
Akron. Let's go overall. Let's go Akron.
Overall, Akron and specifically Laura seems to win this tournament a lot.
Yeah, so if we were to look over at our champions over like the past couple DPOs, so overall
we have 3 of them.
We have 3 yes. So as you can see, the city of Akron has won 5 DPOs over the course of these past 9 weeks. Will it happen again? You guys find out.
I'm not entering this week.
Unlikely.
Unlikely. We'll see if the other Akron boys put in some work. But also we have Columbus pulling in with 3 wins thanks to Mr. One Life to Play Hitman, and Toledo with the single win. That's a special thanks to Mr. Mistopheles.
Coming out of the multiple day, like the multiple Akuma mirrors we had that day.
That day should not have happened. There should not have been that many Akumas. There should not have been that many Geefs. Why was there a Zeku in top 4? So many questions.
That day was something special. I saw Kyle play. It was great.
Dragon Punch 8 was weird. Let's just leave it at that.
The data here that we're seeing, it's no surprise. I mean, chances are any Dragon Punch online, the winner's going to be either myself or Hitman, and that's really just reflecting how Ohio Street Fighter V has been for the past year and a half. So it's not too surprising to see that.
That is very true.
But with neither of you two entering, it means unless Mistopheles can make the run, we're gonna have a new champion.
A brand new champion for Dragon Punch 10 coming in to get that $50.
Already have a few top 4 placers in this bracket. However, only Mistopheles is able to take the crown. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be very hard for him. He specifically struggles against Birdie, and Sebman is playing. Sebman, on the same caliber as myself and Hitman, usually just doesn't clutch it out quite when he needs to. He's had 2 second place finishes and 1 third place, I think. But very good, very strong, and I expect him to win this tonight, honestly.
Yeah, looking over at the entrance page.
Money favorite.
Looking over at the entrance page for Sebman, he's entered 3 DPOs, and of those 3 DPOs that he's entered, he's made it to top 4 in all of them, and 2 of those were grand finals placings. He just didn't clutch it out. I think you actually played him both times, Corey, when he ended up in grand finals.
Yeah, the first one, which was Dragon Punch 1, he actually had to DQ himself at the very end there because he had to run to the store before it closed. But,
right.
You know, we did those.
It's just life.
And then the last week where you beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the run back from Dragon Punch 1 that we never ended up getting. Also, just kind of looking at these like at these top 4 placements. I'm actually gonna sort these by the top 4s. There are a lot of interesting names that were found when we were doing the specifically the people who got top 4 at previous Dragon Punches. A lot of people have gotten that position once and just haven't gotten it again, and I accidentally sorted the wrong column. Let me fix that.
And a pretty wide breadth of characters have made top 4 here.
Yeah, that's also very true. Not fully expressed here, although I would really like to do that at some point. Maybe I'll do that next week. We have a bunch of like people here who have only made top 4 once. We have likes of David Swoops, Shingun, Green Ranger, Blaze 007, Team Cleveland's own Ultimate Vitality, Iron Zangief, Black Sage, and Little Guru. And a bunch of these are names that I'm surprised that have only entered this tournament once, because there's quite a few killers here.
You have to look at who typically is in the top 4. It's usually myself, Hitman, Dante, or Mustapheles, or Sedman. So of those 5, assuming they're entered, there's a very high chance that they're going to be in top 4, and they're all players who enter quite a bit. So really, to get a top 4 finish, you're competing for one slot.
Right.
Basically. So it doesn't surprise me that we see a lot of people who've only done it once. And we don't have too many people who enter a bunch of DPOs. I think, looking at the spreadsheet here, looks like most people have entered 3, maybe 4 times. So, you know, it's going to be rough.
That is also very true. One specific individual that I'm actually kind of surprised hasn't, like, just barely clutched it out yet, in terms of, like, winning a DPO, would be THTB. He's currently the individual with the most top 4 finishes, but the least tournament wins.
Yeah, and that just speaks to Dante's consistency in always being able to place top 4. It's just he runs into the hard walls that are myself, Hitman, and Sebman, usually.
Yeah, and he didn't enter the 1 week. I think I would have put him most likely to win.
Right. I'm just looking over at the graphics real quick. He placed 3rd at Dragon Punch 2, 2nd place at Dragon Punch 3 to Hitman. Let's see, he placed 4th in Dragon Punch 5, 4th in Dragon Punch 6. So yeah, and also 4th last week for Dragon Punch 9. So yeah, he's very consistent at the very least. Just has to get it over those like last little bit of bumps in the road in order to actually get to get the win.
They're not so much bumps in the roads as they are just like craters.
One of them happening to be named Birdie this week.
One of them happened to be named Birdie.
I mean, with since it's really just like Sebman being the big heavy hitter, the only one of the big heavy hitters entering, I think we're going to see a lot of surprises. We have a pretty big bracket tonight with a lot of faces we don't usually see, so I'm excited to see who we might have in the top 4.
And having a look at the bracket real quick, I'm gonna refresh it in case we had someone else enter. Okay, yeah, we do have a 16-man bracket this week.
Okay, I gotta fix that then.
So looking at the names that are in the bracket, we have Sebman versus Pen Knight, Iron Zangief versus Necrocali.
That seeding's not going to be correct if Pen Knight just join.
Pen Knight would be higher seed for sure.
Okay. Football to the go announced. We have not started just yet. We're currently doing a little bit of a pre-show, kind of running through all the stuff that's going on. If you're in the state of Ohio and you would like to enter Dragon Punch Online,
get rid of me.
If you would like to enter Dragon Punch Online this week, be sure to type in the command !DPO in the chat, and upon doing so, you will get access to the information that you need in order to actually join. Not in the state of Ohio feels bad, man. It's all good, dude.
Thanks, Custom. Wish you could be here.
Are you guys live already?
Yeah.
Yep.
I am sorry. I won't bye.
No, you're good.
You're good, Max. You're good.
It happens sometimes. So what was it? It was last week? Did you talk to Hitman before about doing commentary, or did he just jump in the channel and start doing it?
He talked to me about it in the Twitch chat, and then I said it was okay.
Okay. I was just wondering because I was like, wait.
Sky Guy, you're good. You're good. So just going off of the names and not really so much the seeding for tonight's bracket, we have Sebman. Okay. Let me just refresh the bracket so we actually have the proper seeds. And what you guys are seeing.
Sebman versus our boy Big Moisture.
Big Moist.
Is he?
If you want to add money to the pot, just PayPal me.
Is Big Moisture the Guile? I don't remember.
Corey, do you actually want me to create like a command if you want to add like money to the pot? Or do you just...
I don't think that's going to be a normal thing. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. I guess one thing that could kind of work, football to go nets. I do have a command for that I typically use for donations, but I can use it for the prize pool for tonight. So exclamation point tip. If you really feel compelled to add money to the pot, that would be very appreciated, and I'm pretty sure our players would appreciate it as well. If you want to add something to the pot, exclamation point tip.
Right now,
you have my PayPal. I don't care either way.
Okay.
It's winner take all right now, right?
Yeah, the
Yes.
$50 that's being the prize pool for each game is specifically meant for the winners of each game.
Yep.
Just because I think, like, we could have divided it up between first, second, and third and make it like 30, 15, 5.
Yeah, but it's
no one ever feels good winning $5 or 15. You know, you
Right.
want that. You want to say you won the 50.
Right. Gotta win that. Gotta win that big wing money.
Big wing money.
All right, let's look over this again real quick. So again, just based off of the seating: Sebman, Big Moisture, Iron Zangief, Necrocali, David Swoops, Gorgameth, THCB, Pen Knight, Mr. Mistopheles, Brewmaster, which I still have no idea where this dude's from. Dark Zeo versus Bloodback McGrath, Ultimate Vitality versus Jack Vegeta, Hambone versus Mr. Headache. That is your winners round 1 for Dragon Punch 10.
so like the most important matchup in round 1 is like what, Iron Zangief versus Necrocali probably. That's seeding wise, and as far as like what I would consider to be their skill levels from what I've seen, I think they're pretty comparable.
I'd be interested to see how Iron Zangief would fare against Sebman. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Sebman would probably take it just based off of his like skill as a player.
And I think
This, and there are some things that probably aren't the most accurate for seeding, but things have been moved around slightly to prevent too many people from fighting the same people from their scene. So keep that in mind.
That's also very true. That's a thing we definitely have to be worried about.
I think THTB Pen Knight will also be pretty interesting, especially if Pen Knight's been working on his conversions and fixing up the holes we saw in this gameplay a few weeks ago. I think that could be closer than might be initially expected. So those are the two matchups I'd look for in round 1 for sure. Any others that stick out to you guys? Anything
Not
you
too
want
much
to
in
see?
round 1. In round 1, yeah, there's not too much. I think a lot of these are going to be kind of one-sided just because that's how round 1 typically goes. Round 2 is going to be a bloodbath, though.
I'd be interested to see the Master versus the Student, Ultimate Vitality versus Mr. Headache. But Headache had a really solid run at Queen City Fights earlier this week. He placed 3rd place in a bracket that had like what? Like didn't like Sebman and Hitman enter that bracket as well?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the top 4 placement for Queen City Fights. Ultimate Vitality's in the chat, so he'll probably give like a better indication of like how those top 4 placements kind of went. Yeah, I'd be
Yeah, I
interested.
don't remember off the top of my head.
I'll be interested to see how that turns out, though. Okay, so Ultimate Vitality just confirmed. The top 4 placements for Queen City Fights was Hitman, Sebman, Headache, and Gorgameth. So, honestly, I'm really impressed with Headache's losers run. He beat Mistopheles, he beat Gorg, he unfortunately beat me. I'm gonna get the run back eventually. But, yeah, I'm interested to see how those two would fare should they face each other round 2, which is looking like it could be the case. Mr. Mistopheles versus, honestly, like, Dark Zero or Bloodbath. I don't think he's played against either of these two? I'd imagine not.
You know what? That's going to be a good round 1 match, actually.
Dark Zero versus Bloodbath?
They might have played once or twice, but nothing too concrete, and I think they're on relatively the same skill level.
That should be interesting then.
Headache is the Kage, right?
Yes.
Yes. The Kage from Cincinnati.
He also plays a little bit of Honda, but Kage's his tournament character.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see Vitality play in general. I actually don't think I've watched or commentated a DPO that he's actually played in.
It's interesting that you say that, because I think whenever I looked over the stats for how many DPOs that Vitality's entered, he's only entered 3. So,
Yep.
So the least out of, like, all the other members of Team Cleveland, if you exclude, of course, True God.
Who's been surprisingly absent from all of these online tournaments. Someone he just doesn't like it, or what?
I'm surprised about that too. Has David been competing that much recently?
Not really. Street Fighter, I don't think it's been his focus regardless.
Fair enough, fair enough. Am I even on that list? Sky Guy, you are on the list. You entered once. That's all I have to say about that.
I looked through the thing and I am still the worst player as far as entering DPO goes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we do have leaderboards.
We do have we have a leaderboards as well. I'm showing them on stream right now. So
Just don't show page 2.
Oh, page 2? Yeah, of course I'll show page 2. Page 2. Page 2. 49.
I am literally like, what, 45 points behind the second worst.
Oh god. But yeah, if you look at our top 10 of the leaderboards, we have Core Jam, Mr. Mistopheles, Hitman, Sebman, a lot of mans, THGB, David Swoops, Ultimate Vitality, J Money, Big Boots, and Blaze. Those are our glorious top 10 competitors currently in the Ohio FGC, at least in regards to Dragon Punch.
It's been a while since we've seen J Money.
Yeah, J Money lives over in Chicago, so he only enters whenever he can.
Yeah.
And when he did enter, he entered like 2 weeks in a row, and I think he got top 4 both weeks.
Yep.
Looking
Kevin?
over the bracket again, I'm kind of surprised that Mistopheles is actually above Hitman in terms of the rankings.
Mistopheles has entered more than Hitman. I mean, these are based off of ELO rankings, which really don't mean anything in the amount we've played so far. ELO really only starts being like a real factor when you start playing like hundreds of games.
Right.
So there is going to be variations here, especially since not everyone has played the same amount of times.
That would make sense.
It's really more so just for fun. I don't think anyone should take these rankings seriously.
Of
I
course.
think it's also might just be due to record versus Corey specifically. It's probably a big influence, because I think Mistopheles has a set over you. I'm pretty sure.
Possibly.
Has played you less than Hitman.
He has 2 over me, actually. But I think I'm up 3, and Hitman's beaten me a similar amount of times too, so...
Yeah,
it's not like...
the numbers might just be in his favor due to the system.
There's a 20-point difference, like, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
ELO.
It's go time.
All right. So I think with that, I think it's about time we get started with the tournament. Trying to figure out who's going to be our round 1 opponents.